You've been chasing money wrong your entire life. Not because you're lazy, not because you lack discipline, because you've been treating wealth like a destination instead of a machine. Goals are for people who want to feel good about their intentions. Systems are for people who want to actually get rich. And the difference between those two approaches is the difference between dreaming about wealth and building it. Every year, millions of people set income goals, make six figures, save $10,000, pay off debt, and every year the vast majority fail, not because the goals were wrong, but because goals alone don't create results. Systems do. You're about to learn why the wealthiest people don't think in terms of goals at all. They think in terms of machines that generate outcomes automatically. And once you understand this shift, the way you approach money will never be the same. This could be the most important financial insight you ever hear. Stay with me. Before we dive deeper, hit like and subscribe so you never miss our videos, and share this with someone who needs to see it. Let me explain why goal setting is actually sabotaging your financial progress. This is going to sound controversial, but hear me out. When you set a goal, you create a binary mental framework. Either you've achieved it or you haven't. Either you've made the $100,000 or you failed. This all or nothing thinking creates two massive problems. Here's the first problem that nobody talks about. Goals are temporary. Even when you achieve them, you immediately need a new goal. You hit six figures, now you need 7. You save 10,000, now you need 50. There's no finish line, so you're perpetually chasing, perpetually unsatisfied, perpetually feeling like you're not there yet. The second problem is worse. Goals tell you nothing about how to achieve them. I want to make $1 million is not a strategy, it's a wish. It doesn't tell you what to do tomorrow morning. It doesn't tell you what skills to build. It doesn't tell you what habits to adopt. And so you end up with a clear picture of where you want to be and zero clarity on how to get there. That gap between vision and action is where most financial dreams go to die. Think about it this way. If I told you to drive from New York to Los Angeles, but only gave you the destination and no map, no car, and no directions, how far would you get? You'd know exactly where you want to be. You'd have zero ability to get there. That's what goals without systems look like. Clear destination, no vehicle. A system is completely different. A system is a set of inputs that reliably produce outputs. It's not about the destination. It's about building a machine that moves you in the right direction automatically. Let me make this concrete so you can actually use it. A goal says, I want to save $50,000 this year. A system says, every time money hits my account, 20% automatically moves to savings before I can touch it. See the difference? The goal requires constant willpower. Every paycheck, you have to consciously decide to save. You have to resist the temptation to spend. You have to remember your commitment, and eventually willpower fails. It always does. The system requires no willpower at all. It happens whether you feel motivated or not. It happens when you're tired. It happens when you're stressed. It happens when you've had a bad week and want to treat yourself. The machine runs regardless of your emotional state. This is the fundamental insight that separates people who build wealth from people who just talk about it. Wealthy people don't have more discipline. They have better systems. They've removed themselves from the equation. This is worth repeating because it's so important. The goal isn't to have more willpower than everyone else. The goal is to need less willpower than everyone else. Systems accomplish this by making good financial behavior automatic. You're not fighting yourself every day. The architecture does the work. Now, if you want the complete blueprint for building these wealth systems, I've created something specifically for this. The VYBO Wealth Blueprint gives you the exact systems, the automation frameworks, and the step-by-step processes that turn wealth building into a machine that runs on autopilot. Check the link in the description if you're ready to stop chasing goals and start building systems. Now let's continue. Let me break down the 4 systems that every wealth builder needs to install. These aren't optional. These are the foundational machines that create financial progress. System 1 is the one most people skip entirely. System 1 is an income system, not a job, a system. A job trades your time for money in a 1-to-1 ratio. An income system creates leverage, where your inputs generate disproportionate outputs. This could be a skill that compounds over time, making your hourly value increase each year. This could be a business where processes run without your constant involvement. This could be content that earns while you sleep. The form doesn't matter. What matters is that your income isn't capped by your available hours. Most people never build an income system because they're too busy trading time for money. They work harder instead of smarter. They increase their hours instead of increasing their leverage. An income system breaks this cycle by creating value that isn't directly tied to your presence. System 2 is an automated savings system. Money comes in, a percentage immediately leaves before you see it. This isn't budgeting. Budgeting requires ongoing decisions. This is architecture. You build it once and it runs forever. Here's why automation matters more than the amount. Someone who automatically saves 5% for 20 years will accumulate more than someone who plans to save 20% but only does it inconsistently. Consistency beats intensity every single time, and systems create consistency that willpower never can. System 3 is an investment system, not picking stocks, not timing markets, a system. This means regular, automatic contributions to diversified assets. This means rules for when to buy that don't depend on how you're feeling that day. This means a process that captures growth over decades without requiring you to be a financial genius. System 4 is a protection system. Insurance, emergency funds, legal structures. These are the machines that prevent catastrophic setbacks from erasing years of progress. Most people ignore this because it's not exciting. But one medical emergency or one lawsuit can wipe out everything you've built. Wealthy people understand that offense wins games, but defense wins championships. They build their attack systems and their defense systems simultaneously. The protection system isn't glamorous. Nobody brags about their insurance coverage at parties, but it's the system that allows all your other systems to compound without interruption. Let's pause here. We've covered why goals fail, what systems actually are, and the 4 foundational wealth systems you need to build. Now, let's talk about how to actually install these systems in your life. Because understanding systems intellectually is worthless if you don't implement them. The next section gives you the practical framework for making this real. How to build your wealth-made machine. Step 1. Audit your current systems. You already have systems, even if you didn't design them consciously. Money comes in through some channel. It gets spent through some pattern. It gets saved at some rate. These are systems. They're just probably not optimized. Look at the last 3 months of your finances. Where did money come from? Where did it go? What happened automatically versus what required conscious decisions? This audit reveals the machine you're currently running, and you can't improve what you don't understand. Be honest during this audit. Most people lie to themselves about their finances. They think they save more than they do. They think they spend less than they do. The numbers don't lie. Look at the actual data and let it reveal the truth about your current machine. Step 2 is where most people make a critical mistake. Step 2. Start with one system, not 4. The temptation is to overhaul everything at once. Resist this. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Pick the system that will have the biggest impact on your specific situation and perfect that one first. For most people, this is the automated savings system. It's the easiest to implement and creates immediate visible progress. Set up the automatic transfer. Make it impossible to forget. Watch the account grow without any ongoing effort. Once that system is running smoothly for 3 months, add the next one, then the next. Build your wealth machine one component at a time. Each system you add increases the power of the overall machine, but only if each individual system is actually working first. Quick note: if you want to build these systems alongside a community of people doing the same thing, our channel membership was created for exactly that. Members get exclusive deep dives on wealth systems, implementation guides, and access to others who are serious about building financial machines that run on autopilot. Hit the join button below if you're ready to take this seriously. Now let's continue. Step 3. Remove decision points. Every time your system requires a decision, it has a chance to fail. The goal is 0 decisions. Money comes in, the system activates, outcomes happen. No thinking required. This is the secret that separates wealthy people from everyone else. They've designed their financial lives so that good decisions happen by default. They don't have more willpower. They've engineered their environment so willpower isn't needed. Every choice they removed is a potential failure point they eliminated. Step 4. Build in feedback loops. A system without feedback becomes a system that drifts off course. You need regular checkpoints where you review whether the machine is working as intended. This doesn't mean obsessing over your accounts daily. That creates anxiety without improving outcomes. It means scheduled reviews, maybe monthly or quarterly, where you look at the numbers, verify the systems are running, and make adjustments if needed. Think of yourself as the inverse of your wealth machine. You're not doing the work, the machine does the work, but you check on the machine periodically to make sure it's functioning properly. You oil the gears, you tighten the bolts, you keep the machine in optimal condition. Here's what happens when you shift from goals to systems. Year 1, you build the infrastructure. You set up the automations. You create the processes. Progress feels slow because you're building the machine, not reaping the benefits yet. But here's where it gets interesting. Year 2, the machine starts producing. Your savings accumulate automatically. Your investments grow. Your income system gains momentum. You're not working harder than year 1. The machine is just running. Year 3 and beyond, compound effects take over. Your automated investments have been buying assets every month, regardless of market conditions. Your income system has been refined and optimized. Your savings have created a buffer that allows you to take calculated risks. The person who set goals is still chasing. They hit their target, felt briefly satisfied, set a new target, and started the chase again. They're running on a treadmill that goes nowhere. The person who built systems is accelerating. Each year, the machine gets more powerful. Each year, the outputs increase with the same inputs. This is the fundamental difference between linear progress and exponential progress. Linear progress means you get out what you put in. Work 10 hours, get 10 hours of results. Exponential progress means your outputs grow faster than your inputs. The machine you built in year 1 keeps producing in year 5, year 10, year 20. You're not starting over every morning. You're building on everything that came before. Now here's something you need to understand. Systems thinking feels less exciting than goal setting. Setting a big goal creates a dopamine hit. You feel motivated. You feel like you're doing something. You can tell people about your ambitious target and feel important. Building a system feels boring. Setting up an automatic transfer doesn't give you the same rush as declaring you'll be a millionaire. Optimizing a process isn't as sexy as dreaming about a yacht. Systems are unsexy by design. That's why they work. The people who get rich are willing to trade the dopamine hit of goal setting for the actual results of system building. They're willing to be bored in the short term to be wealthy in the long term. They understand that motivation is unreliable, but machines are not. This is maturity. This is wisdom. This is understanding that feelings are temporary, but systems are permanent. The rush of setting a big goal lasts maybe a week. A well-built system produces results for decades. Choose accordingly. The other resistance comes from wanting to feel in control. Goals make you feel like you're steering. Systems make you feel like you're a passenger. But here's the truth. With goals, you're steering a car that's out of gas. With systems, you're a passenger in a vehicle that actually moves. Let go of the illusion of control. Build the machine. Trust the machine. Let the machine do what machines do. Produce consistent outputs, regardless of your mood, your motivation, or your circumstances. Wealth is not a goal you achieve. It's a system you build. It's a machine that runs whether you're paying attention or not. It's an infrastructure that produces results automatically. You now understand the 4 systems: income, savings, investment, protection. You know how to build them. Audit, focus on one, remove decisions, add feedback loops. You understand why most people resist this and why that resistance keeps them broke. The shift from goals to systems is the shift from hoping to engineering, from wishing to building, from dreaming to designing. It's not as exciting. It doesn't make for good social media posts, but it works. And working is what actually matters. The question is simple. Are you going to keep chasing goals that never satisfy you? Or are you going to build a machine that creates wealth while you sleep? Stop thinking about what you want to have. Start thinking about what you need to build. Because in 5 years, the goal setters will still be chasing, and the system builders will have arrived. Build the machine, trust the machine. Let the machine make you wealthy.